Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the great AJ Styles.
Wow. With the promised strength.
Daniel, you were telling the story about when this guy comes over and you saw him, and the first time you go, this is one of the best wrestlers ever. My experience, he was 35 years old, just got done with a tour in Japan. The audience, thanks to social media, largely are the ones that got him a contract. And the first time I saw AJ Styles, I remember where I was and going, oh my goodness, I did not know a white guy could wrestle like that.
Wow, I appreciate that. What a compliment, man. Here I thought you guys didn't have any time to watch or do anything because you're training all the time.
No, we don't. Well, we're both old and retired now. Like, I can't train myself across this stage without getting hurt. I go to bed at night and I'm hurt.
You got to change. Hey, that was last night for me. Why's my back hurt? I went to bed. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I remember meeting you, and you won't remember this. 2004 on a soundstage in Orlando, Florida at TNA. They were telling me you were going to be just the best wrestler of all time. Turns out they were right, man. You've been tremendous over the course of this career. When you look back to those days, how far have you come and how much have you been able to look back and appreciate the journey?
Well, you know, man, I had the opportunity, like you guys, to wrestle or fight some legends. And so you're going to get better when you're in the ring with guys like that. I had the opportunity to be in the ring with Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, and all those guys in TNA. And it just kind of bled over into being the wrestler that I am today because I learned a lot from those guys. I learned a lot from guys who sucked, you know? I mean, but it's just like anything else. It's a lot like life. It's all about experience, and I got a lot of experience.
When people talk about how great the match between, and I'm going to go back, but Macho Man versus Rick Steamboat, is that match revered by guys of your level? Is that truly one of the great matches of all time?
It is, but here's what because I am a man that never stops learning, so I've been watching a lot of old WWF, and Mr. Perfect is probably one of the greatest performers I've ever seen in my life. If you go back and watch it, the things that he does, you're like, how did he do that?
Yeah.
And I know it sounds crazy because he's not really known for that, but when you'll just go back and watch it, you'll see how great he really was.
Yeah, he was amazing, man. Everything looked clean. Everything was how it was supposed to be done. When he had an intention on something, he made it look like you expected that to be what it was going to be. But when we watch you, right, the phenomenal form, and all those great finishing moves that you've had, all the great moments that you've had since getting to the WWE, how excited are you to be again at WrestleMania, but this time not with one of those great legends of the past? Now you're fighting a guy that's a tad bit new, bit of a newbie, social media superstar, a guy that does carry a lot of cachet, but he doesn't have those accolades like you. What's the difference between a match with a guy like that, Kurt Angle, and a guy like Logan Paul?
Logan Paul's unpredictable. Like, I don't know what he's going to do next because he hasn't done a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for someone like that? And here's the thing, as far as if we're going to talk about accolades, social media-wise, Logan Paul blows me out of the water.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And despite the fact that a lot of people don't like this guy, I don't hate Logan Paul. In fact, I'm quite impressed with what he's been able to build. You know, this guy's got, his hands are in everything, you know, but the fact that he thinks that he can come in here to WWE, talk to you fans, talk to guys who've been doing this for a long time and guys who've busted their tail to get to the WWE, that's insulting. So I'm going to do what I can to keep his mouth shut when I'm beating the tar out of him in the middle of the ring.
You guys seem to enjoy beating on Logan.
I mean, if you guys were in the ring with Logan Paul, I mean, right? Like, I feel like you'd do the same.
Hey, if we were just to reminisce over the good old day, if I was to tell you the greatest heel of all time is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, do you argue with me?
I can't really argue with you because he did a lot of great things, and he didn't take a lot of bumps, falls. Like, he didn't take – so to say that he was a great manager heel at the time. I don't know that he's Bobby the Brain Heenan, mind you.
No.
But he is up there for sure.
Is Ravishing Rick Rude up there? Is he one of the greats?
Because he came up with the painting the tights and everything that really pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
I loved it, dude.
No.
It was out of the norm. It's not, and shake the hips, and he was ripped to shreds, which pissed a lot of people off.
Hey, when the kid was dribbling the basketball and the little black boy was dribbling the basketball, and the $1 Million Man kicked, he let him get to 99.
Yeah.
That was heel work at his best. Like when Chael was in Brazil and spoke about how much it stunk in Brazil.
Yeah.
That's great heel work, right? Did you guys notice, like a guy like Chael Sonnen when he was rocking and rolling?
Do you know what I said to him when we walked up?
No, I didn't hear it.
I said the best promo in the business. This guy got better promos than most of us wrestlers. This guy sold fights with his mouth, and everybody knows it. And then he came and delivered during the fight, so that was a plus. But this guy, he should have been a pro wrestler, to be honest with you.
That's a nice compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you, AJ.
You like that, huh?
I do. Hey, well, I was just going back and forth on heels, and I was just wondering, like a guy, you know, on that side of the apron, what they think. I'll tell you another great heel, though, was Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, man, you could hate that guy. He came out and did this walk and talked about he had money. Like, that is just going to annoy people.
Yeah.
Right. That's the key, right? We are trying to sell matches. You are trying to sell fights. That's what we do. And the great thing about it is, if we can just tell you guys a story that you can understand, when we get in the ring, all we got to do is pay it off. And that's the why we do what we do. That's, you know, that's what's fun. It's like seeing how pissed off Logan Paul can get you guys is icing on the cake. I mean, and listen, he's a guy that everybody loves to hate, including me at the moment. So.
Yeah, AJ, when you get here, when you get to the WWE, and you receive the type of love that you receive from these fans, every time the music hits the speakers, people go crazy. What does that mean to a guy like you that has spent this amount of time in the business and has all that equity, right, with the fans and all the time spent trying to get to this point that you are in your career today?
You know, there's not a lot of times I've been right in my life, but when my girlfriend and I were dating back in the 90s, getting close to getting married, I told her, and I drug her to independent matches with me. It was a terrible thing. It was not good. But one day I said, listen, it's going to pay off. I then married that girl. And listen, like I said, I'm not right a lot, especially with her. One time I've been right when I said this is going to pay off, when I finally, you know, made a name for myself in TNA and traveled the world, went to Japan, and now here I am in WWE. That's the one thing I can throw up in her face, like, see, I told you so. So thank you guys for that.
That's the ultimate bragging right.
Right. I don't get a lot of those.
She could never win anything. You gave her the life.
That's right. Now, I don't say that because
don't
that's
say
just
it.
going to get me in more trouble.
Don't say it.
You
Don't say
said
it.
it, actually. I didn't say it.
And sometimes you want credit for that. I understand. I brought my wife out here. I wanted a little credit. We checked into the hotel. It's a beautiful place. We got tickets to Mania. I wanted a little pat on the back.
You don't get the credit. You just make the money.
AJ, I got to ask you a question. All right, everybody, people, Daniel and I included, we're looking forward to your match with Logan. But I know that you're a fan yourself. You get done. You go in the back. Main event time. Does John Cena beat Rhodes?
That's a good question. Was it all for nothing that John Cena said this was his last year? This is it. And in his last year, he finally becomes the John Cena that most wanted to see, and then loses to Cody Rhodes? Would it be all for nothing?
Yeah.
Does he get beat at WrestleMania after being bad John Cena or whatever? I can't see that happening.
I got to be honest with you. We're sitting out here in front of these fans, and our time's getting short. So at this point, they can cheer, they can boo. I really don't care. But they forced John Cena to be this. They treated John Cena that way. That's why John Cena is how he is. John Cena is justified in feeling betrayed. AJ, you've been on that side before. They want to boo me, and all I've been is good to these people. They booed me and cheered John Jones. They booed me and cheered John Jones. So that's what I'm saying. They made John Cena this, AJ.
Well, let me just say this. I did not boo you when you wrestled John Jones.
See what I'm saying? That's my boy.
And I
right
may
there.
be related to John Jones. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, it's a possibility.
You're related to John Jones?
I didn't say I was. I said
There
there's
is
a possibility.
very clear reason why you guys aren't related.
Yeah.
I would just point out the obvious. Chael, you say it then. I know you don't love getting into race conversations, but there's a reason why him and John Jones aren't.
I thought he was white. I admit I
This
thought
guy
I'm
right
a little
here.
offended
Yes.
that
I
you would
thought he
think that
was white.
based on my skin color.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that hurts a little bit.
You're a very tan white guy, but I don't think that makes you black like me.
Well, you don't know my bloodline, bro.
But I see your athleticism.
Hey,
I know you got that letter. You got some brother in
yeah,
you.
hey, this guy's getting off the subject, right?
Yeah, come
Because
back.
he
was
talked
saying-
about how you guys turned John. Here's the problem with that. By the time John was coming out, especially in 2025, you guys loved him being there because you don't get to see him as much. He's involved in his acting and doing really well, and you guys cheered him, and I saw it for myself. And then he turns into Evil John for what? Because they were cheering him? That doesn't make much sense to me.
No. They only cheered him because he was just coming back. He said it's over. So now that because it's over, you want to cheer me? What about when I was here? They took him for granted, man.
Are we living in the past or are we living in the present?
They took him for granted, AJ, and you know it.
Maybe they did, but at the time, I was okay with it because at one point in time, I did want to beat up John Cena.
Yeah, you did. Everybody kind of wanted to beat up John Cena at one point.
Yeah, I even wanted a shirt made, but Vince said no. I mean, I don't know who would have bought it.
AJ, this weekend you go into WrestleMania. You've done multiple WrestleManias now. Is everyone still as special as the first one?
I don't know that it will be as special as the first one because that was my first WrestleMania. One I never thought I'd be at. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to be at WrestleMania. By the time I got to WWE, I think I was 36 years old. So I just assumed that I wouldn't have a WrestleMania moment. So nothing will be like the first, but it is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we are in a stadium full of people that are going to want to see me beat up Logan Paul. And man, I am going to give you just that. I'm going to beat up Logan Paul.
Man, that's exactly what I want to see too. Guys, give it up for the phenomenal one, the great AJ Styles.
Thank you, AJ.